Right now, as I speak, millions and millions of drivers are saving money on their car insurance with GEICO. If you're one of those drivers, well done. If you're not, it's easy to join them. Visit geico.com today.
And now, Bruce, to recap last night's game once again and to preview the Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl next week, a very special guest is joining us, Bruce.
Bernie.
Yep, Bernie Wilson from
Bernie
Associated Press. Bernie, welcome to the show. You're on with Bruce and Mark.
Thanks, fellas. It's good to be on Bowl Radio.
All right, this is the final show of the season, so you are. We saved the best for last.
So
Holy cow! I'm touched, guys.
So last night, Bernie, 23-6, BYU defeating the San Diego State Aztecs. What's your takeaway from the game?
That it was now if the Holiday Bowl is America's most exciting bowl game, the Poinsettia Bowl was America's most exciting 12 minutes and 12 seconds or whatever the scrum was there from the time of Kyle Van Noy's strip sack fumble recovery until the final gun. I think we all know it was very ponderous up to that point, a field position battle. Field goal battle, but unfortunately for the local 11, BYU made it a very exciting game.
Well, it was a defensive struggle, so I guess, Bernie, you're saying that defensive struggles, even though it was close in the fourth quarter, is not your cup of tea. You like to see a little bit more scoring back and forth. That being said, both defenses played extremely well.
They did. The only problem is now the Poinsettia Bowl is the little brother of the Holiday Bowl, and so you would hope that little brother would have, a few exciting plays and a few big bombs or something. Somebody at one point commented that it was like watching a Padres game, and that would be Padres game pre-fences coming in at Petco Park. So the defenses did play very well, and the true MVP was the BYU punter who kept dropping them inside the 20 and having his coverage units down it on the 1, 2, and 3. But no, defensive struggles are not my cup of tea or my cup of coffee or even my margarita.
Well, Bernie, there was actually a lot of talk up there, people tongue-in-cheek, I'm sure, but we're saying that you should give Van Noy not only the defensive MVP, but also the offensive MVP.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He scored 2 touchdowns on defense, and he also blocked the punt of former Saintsman Seamus McMorrow. Maybe what you guys need to do is have an offensive MVP, defensive MVP, punting MVP.
And how about Bernie's MVP? Bernie's MVP.
The media MVP and then an overall MVP. I know you're going to have to hit your sponsors up for a few more trophies, but come on, you guys can do it. You're a big bowl association and a lot of young men to honor.
We will take that under consideration, Bernie. Final score Thursday night at the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl, BYU 23, San Diego State 6. Now, we move on. We may not have a defensive struggle on Thursday the 27th, Baylor and UCLA. Do you have any predictions, Bernie, how that one's going to go?
I'm going to cop out on you, and I'm going to go with the Marty Schottenheimer rule of thumb. And he actually said this once, that to win, you have to score at least one more point than the other team. So whichever team scores at least one more point than the other team is going to win. Does that help you guys? Does it make sense? Could we write a book about that?
Absolutely not.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to go with, since my wife is a USC Trojan, I'm going to go with Baylor simply because they upset. Then K-State was, what was it, one? They were one.
Yeah, they were first in the country.
BCS beat the heck out of them, in fact. And UCLA is coming off 2 losses. I know you guys might not like that, but they are the Pac-12 South. But I will champion. But I will go, since you asked the question, with Baylor, but I have no idea what the final score is going to be.
Do you think, we've heard a lot, people think there's going to be a very high-scoring game. Do you think there's any chance that it will not be?
You know what? That's why they play the game. I would have thought that last night would have been a little more high-scoring, but, early neither team could find the end zones. Moema had some nice runs between the 20s, but BYU does have a very good run defense. And going into the fourth quarter, I guess this isn't the BYU team that made all those Holiday Bowl appearances. That's certainly became evident early on. I thought it was going to be higher than 6-3 going into the fourth quarter.
And back in the old days in the Holiday Bowl, BYU was known, it was a quarterback factory, and it was turning out just high-scoring games. So now you move forward to this week's Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl. All of the numbers look to say it's going to be a high-scoring game. Baylor has averaged over 44 points a game, UCLA 35 points. But then normally when that happens, you'll end up with a 10-7 contest and wonder where all the scoring went. So we just don't know. But I do know it should be a very, very entertaining game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And both of them are, first-time participants in the legendary Holiday Bowl. And the first time they faced each other. So, yeah, it should be a good game.
And, Bernie, how many games have you covered of ours?
Everyone since 1991, the Ty Detmer tie game.
Do you have one game that just stands out for you personally? I don't want to put you on the spot, but just a game where you go, I'll never forget that Holiday Bowl moment?
Probably the Ty Detmer tie game. When Ty Detmer threw that interception, I believe it was right at the goal line.
It was. In fact, BYU could have actually, if they would have just played it safe and run the ball, they could have probably kicked a game-winning field goal. But again, those decisions happen, and it ended up in the only tie in our history. And of course, now with overtime, there'll never be another tie in Holiday Bowl history.
And when you're playing in America's most exciting bowl game, you got to go for it, right?
That's right. And Bernie, we love the adjectives you use to describe America's finest bowl, America's most exciting bowl game.
Well, I didn't come up with them. I'm just propagating the myth here, the legend.
Excellent. Well,
as it will.
Bernie Wilson, we look forward to working with you again next week in the Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl, Thursday, December 27th, 6:45 kickoff.
All right, fellas, we'll do it all again.